Alright, in the last video we showed you about how to add a page range, and we'll just show you here briefly how things can go wrong if you don't do this quite right. And let's go to the beginning of this page range here under Resize Multiple Tables. So we'll Control-Alt-Click and we'll click on the 4. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut this to the clipboard. We're going to get rid of this building block and show you what happens when you don't have it. So we'll click Save, and then we'll update the index again. So basically what we have now is we have two entries. One has an end range, but we don't have a corresponding start range. And so what ends up happening is you basically get these question marks. And so FrameMaker, it puts in the entry on page 4, and then it looks at this entry on page 6 and says, well, you know, we have an end range building block, but there's no corresponding start page. So what it does is it just puts in these two question marks. So if you see these, and you see them in front of the dash, in front of the separator, then you know it's really a start range somewhere that's missing. So let's go and let's reverse this condition. So we Control-Alt-Click here, and we're going to paste this building block back in here, the start range. We're going to fix it. But let's go to the end range here, and let's take that out. So we'll cut that, we'll click Save, and let's go ahead and update the index. And so now what we have is we have a start range entry, but we don't have an end range entry. So here's what we get. Okay, so it's basically the same thing. It takes this last entry, this number 6, this one on page 6, and it just puts it in there because it doesn't know, you know, that's the end range that we want. It has no way of knowing that. But when it looks at this entry on page 4 and sees the start range, and it can't find a corresponding end range, then it puts in two question marks after the dash. So this is what your clue is. If you see these question marks, you know that you have either a start range without a corresponding end range or vice versa. And that's what you're going to see.